What's up, guys? It is the Bad Wolf. Happy holidays, blessed seasons greetings, and all that good jazz for all those people who are watching. If you don't celebrate, then it is what it is, and that's totally fine. So during the break, well, my break from consultations and whatever else, this is me doing some videos, right, real quick, because, well, the brain never stops and can't stop, won't stop, as they say. So thank you to all those people who are helping me reach almost 80,000 at the end of the year. We probably won't hit that number until probably 2 months and maybe three into next year, but the numbers are looking good. So thank you guys. I stand humbled. With that being said, if you guys want to join the Wolf Pack to be a part of the background information, the behind the scenes, please feel free to go to youtube.com, go to my site or page, and then click on the join button and join at whatever level you can afford to support me monthly. I appreciate you in advance. Thank you ever so much, especially for the people who've already done it. For those people who want to be a part of the newsletter, go to Black Site 32, which is also now accessible by going to jamesclovett.com or badwolf.unincorporated.com. All those will take you to the same place just to make it a little easier for you guys. Um, and click on the newsletter. And then that way I can message you guys when certain things are going down, or if I change to another platform, or maybe I might need you guys to do something for me, reach out or send some letters somewhere. So let's form that community and get that going. And on YouTube, my backup channel is the Bad Wolf Media channel. All right. I may change that name to Bad Wolf Oh, wait, I already did that. Did you notice? Yes. The James C. Lovett YouTube channel is now referred to as Bad Wolf Unincorporated. It just seems more fitting. We've kind of taken it from its grassroots to a new plateau. So this is where we're at. Hopefully you guys like the name. Without further ado, well, maybe one to do. I want to play this in honor of November the 5th for multiple reasons, but especially because that is my mother's passing date. And but from the movie V for Vendetta, just want you to listen to this. Sadly, no longer remembered. By taking some time out from this week of Mars, this November the 5th. Sadly, no longer remembered. By taking some time out for our daily lives to send check. The articles you guys get it. Remember the 5th of November. That's a very powerful message. We'll just say a lot of people out there don't want you to hear. There's nothing but truth in that. All right. Now, without further ado, I would play the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure it's sensitive and, as YouTube tends to be that I'll get a possible, mentioning. So fair use on that, education, entertainment purposes. And let's take a listen to, oh, I didn't say my normal thing. Welcome, loves, Lovets, Wilvians, Hoovians, and Bad Wolvians. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It is the Bad Wolf. Let's take a look and find out what this video is about. It is about sovereigns. I mean, I figure if they're gonna, place the whole sovereign citizen movement underneath my videos, we might as well talk about it and debunk them. So first of all, sovereign means king, queen, self-powered, self-contained, your own jurisdiction, a leader. Citizen means to be is sitai is to be made property of an entity. To conform is the Zen part. Sitai Zen ship. And yes, you're on a ship. You're being shipped around. So you can't be both. It's an oxymoron. You can't be a sovereign and a citizen. There's no such thing. Matter of fact, when they prosecute you as a citizen, not as a sovereign citizen, because sovereign citizen has no standing in law, and they couldn't prosecute you underneath that because that would be fraud. Even them mentioning that you are one is defamation of character because they're putting your life in jeopardy, and you can sue them over it. So by all means, see if you can record them, or if they're dumb enough to put it in the writing, use it against them in federal district court. Unless, of course, you are operating as one of those beings, people, persons, entities, or groups that we do not condone here. We are not against the states, we are not against the GOV, but we will point out their corruption. Remember the 5th of November. And everywhere where there is corruption and darkness, light will shine, whether it's my torch or the light from my torch passed to another, or from someone else's past to me. But at some point in time, we will all raise our lights and illuminate the way. And even if it's not us, then it will come from powers far more superior than us. The term sovereign has been around. It wasn't even created. It's not even a created word from here. Okay. You're talking about this came from originally like over in England and those areas, and there's always other words and names for it. Potentate, king, Lord, exalted one, etc. There's always been a word for this to mean that you're above other classes of people. So what they've done is they've weaponized it. So I figured if they're going to put that underneath some of my videos via Wikipedia, so YouTube, um, and of course YouTube wants to, oh, we don't know, we have to keep our advertisers private, so it's a personal thing. I get it. I get it. Let's take a look here though at the Supreme Court, which is the highest law of the land, because what we teach here is constitutional law, YouTube. Wikipedia, this is constitutional law. Oh, that's right, but you guys tend to operate in commercial maritime state jurisdiction. So, yeah, censorship, right? Over people's words and things. I'm glad this is all entertainment. So the Supreme Court, the highest law in the land, has already ruled in Chisholm versus Georgia, 1793, and other cases, what sovereignty is. So instead of calling someone a sovereign citizen, you guys should be calling them, I don't know, law violators. But you want to plague everybody that way? I don't see you going after the wealthy people who do these things that I teach, that I've learned from wealthy people, and I teach to everybody. Don't see you guys doing that. Are they sovereign citizens too? Your bosses, the ones living in nice houses, have the nice cars, and you don't even know their names. You've never met half of them. Who have a little game of making sure that their names are never put into the public eye because they control the news, the media. Funny how that works. When poor people try to exalt their freedoms and rights the same way as wealthy elites, it's a problem. They're sovereign citizens, which there is no such thing because it doesn't have any standing in law. But when the wealthy do it, just good business, right? All right, without further ado, let's let our handsome AI speak on sovereignty.
One must remember that in order for a court to conduct a hearing trial, it must at a minimum have both the personam jurisdiction and subject matter jurisdiction. However, as affirmed by the United States Supreme Court in Chisholm v. Georgia states cannot be sovereign. It is the people within the states that are sovereign. Everyone fails to understand
that. So when I do the seminars, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth. We're going to break down a lot of this piece by piece. So we will have some free seminars and we will have some paid ones. And you guys will be able to go to Black Site 32 or Badwolf Unincorporated and check on the seminars page to see when we're going to have those. And certain people will be allowed to be in for free, which is why I joined the newsletter. And other ones will be paid. But what they said here is that the states cannot be sovereign. Why? But in fact, states are almost sovereign. Why? The states can't be sovereign because the state of Maine is a different entity than Maine state and the Maine Republic. Maine Republic is the people and the actual physical ground, which is supported by the Constitution and so defended. State of Maine is a different thing. It's a corporation. It's an entity. They're running a business there. Look it up. They have an EIN. They have Dun and Bradstreet. They're a corporation. The government said no more corporations operating over the territories. We're the territory. Okay? The natural. So they don't want any more new states like that created. Okay? And all the land is taken up and whatever else. So we're pretty well locked in. They don't want anybody seceding. They don't want anybody subdividing. So the states, for the power that they have to do this business here, which is considered private, but it's so big that it's called the public. They're all doing business together. And they all went to the government and said, yeah, we want your protection. We don't want to be taken over by some other nation or corporation or entity or whatever else. So they waived their sovereignty, but we, the people, didn't waive our sovereignty. But by law, we were legally given the ability to have citizenship. When you put on that mask, you are momentarily, which unfortunately most of us continue to wear that mask all the time and play the fool, you then become an employee, a member, a trustee of theirs. And you're in midst wave or continuously waiving your rights from the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. You're giving them jurisdiction, just like going to work. You have an employee number, right? That's the same thing on the state level with your all capitalized name and you checking off U.S. citizen to everything when you should be checking off Floridian, California, New Yorker, or whatever else. Now, of course, they're going to look at you a little bit weird because there was never a time where you had to really do this. This wasn't ever a thing, and then all of a sudden they put everything in place and you said, "Oh yeah, everybody just we're all together now. Yay, we're all family. Yay, everybody just say you're a U.S. citizen. It's fine." What about all Floridians? Man, shut up. That's past. That's old. We don't do that no more. We're just family now. But what they didn't tell you is that that was waiving your rights. Now the government knows. See, the books that the government has, they know in law. They know exactly what this is. They watch my channel too, but they know exactly what it is. They can't interfere in your private affairs with the state unless they deny you your constitutional rights because you've waived those rights. So you're agreeing to them. You're agreeing to everything that they want to do. But when they violate your rights and you bring them forward to the district court or Supreme Court or an equity court, now they can get involved in your private matters because they know what the states are doing, but by law, they can't interfere in private business. So when you're sitting there taking it in the hoo-hoo, grabbing your ankles, saying this is bull, no, did he know? It's because they're like, well, you've agreed to it. If you agreed to let dude bend you over and do his business, you have that right. So let's keep going. So the people are the creators of the organic republic state. So we can only be subservient if we waive our rights to the superior power, which is the Constitution and, for those who believe, God, natural law, religious law, private law. So the states themselves can't be fully sovereign because they gave up their right to be part of the Union, America. They said, yeah, we don't want to just do business here. We want to be looked at as you. So then they have their constitutions and they're supposed to abide by this. But they operate also with the UCC, maritime law and jurisdiction, when doing these commercial things. So the states are not sovereign, but if you agree that you are a resident of theirs, well, then you're an employee willingly, which is what a police officer is, a judge is, lawyer, postal worker, or United States Postal Service worker, all those things. Public trustees. Let's keep going. There you go. Did you hear what he said? Everybody, unless you're working for the government, is sovereign. That's it. So it's not a sovereign citizen movement. We are sovereign as Americans.
This is not a subjective statement, but an objective fact as affirmed by the United States' very own Supreme Court in 1793, i.e. Chief Justice.
So this was already established way before me or any other stuff. So that's why I find it hilarious when they want to send their little attacks my ways, because you guys don't even know the law. Or is it the fact that you know the law, but you just don't like people sharing their rights and freedoms out there because it's hitting your pocketbooks? Cute.
This is not a subjective statement, but an objective fact. Very own Supreme Court in 1793, i.e. Chief Justice, being none other than Chief Justice John Citi, and along with him, Associate Judge James Wilson, the same James Wilson who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence and co-signer of the United States Constitution. In 1793, the state of Georgia was being sued by Chisholm, for whom the state had borrowed money during the American Revolution. The argument as brought before the court was that the courts had no jurisdiction to hear such a case, as Georgia believed that it was sovereign and therefore had sovereign immunity.
So you're telling me the state of Georgia is out here saying, hey, we're sovereign? But then in Georgia, there's people there that are fighting court cases, and that state and their law enforcement are saying, well, these people are sovereign citizens. So wait, y'all want to be sovereign? Y'all gonna say y'all are sovereign, but you don't want the people in your area you're gonna call them sovereign citizens? Make it make sense. Oh, because you guys want to be recognized and use the word sovereign to mean that, you guys don't have to listen to anybody else whatsoever. But when the people who created that state and finance that state want to be free and get their constitutional rights, and I'm not saying all of them are doing it right by no means, then you want to try to play the political game, because that's what it is. It's a political game. Political attacks. We want to assassinate your character, make you look stupid. Problem is that when the truth is heard, it's felt.
Georgia believed that it was sovereign and therefore had sovereign immunity. The Supreme Court ruled that Georgia was right in believing that sovereigns have sovereign immunity from being brought before and into the courts. However, the court clarified that it is not the government that was sovereign, but in fact it is the people as individuals for whom are sovereign. When the state brings a case on behalf of their residents, they are representing sovereigns. That does not make the states sovereign in that of themselves.
It is.
Thus, it bestows sovereignty upon any non-living entity. Sovereignty was bestowed upon the people as individuals.
There it is.
I am, of course, referring to the case of Chisholm v. Georgia. Within this case, we will find the following comments by Chief Justice John Jay as follows. Because it teaches and greatly appreciates the value of our free Republican national government, which places all our citizens on an equal footing and enables each and every of them to obtain justice without any danger of being overborne by the weight and number of their opponents. And because it brings into action and enforces this great and glorious principle that
it says that we are supposed to have equal footing as we the people, as individuals, against any government, any amount of citizens, any law enforcement, any agency, any of them. But what are we seeing on a daily basis? That they are bullying, they're hiding their bonds, they're hiding their any ways to get remedy from insurance. You got corrupt judges, misinformed police officers. Law enforcement doesn't even know the Constitution or the constitutional law or that it's superior. And all the atrocities that are happening on this level to we the people. But because most of the Congress doesn't have to worry about this, they don't make it a big deal because they're getting their paycheck. So all I'm going to say, people, is that it's upon you to file your lawsuits and claims, or you guys to elect a leader and start putting things together. Class action lawsuits. You guys want to change the nation? You're the nation, so change. I'm just lighting the way. You guys got to walk through.
principle that and consequently that fellow citizens enjoy, and no such idea is obtained here. The revolution that likewise, the following statements were made by Justice James Wilson, and as shown earlier, we should be more knowledgeable of this fact.
Well, me saying this stuff.
Of the Declaration of Independence.
This is written.
And the co-signer of the United States Constitution. His statements were as judge of this court, I know, and can decide upon the knowledge that the citizens of Georgia, when they acted upon a large scale of the Union, as a part of the people of the United States, and with regard to him, there was no superior power, and consequently, on feudal principles, no right of jurisdiction, and the attribute of sovereignty. He is sovereign and independent within his own dominions, and owes no kind of objection to any other potentate upon earth. Hence it is that, and as the state has claimed precedence of the people, so, in the same inverted course of things, the government has often claimed precedence of the state, and many of the volumes of confusion concerning sovereignty owe their existence. The ministers, dignified very properly by the appellation of the magistrates, have wished, and have succeeded in their wish, to be considered as the sovereigns of the state. This second degree of perversion is confined to the old world, and begins to diminish even there. But the first degree is still too prevalent, even in the several states of which our union is composed. By a state, I mean a complete body of free persons united together for their common benefit to enjoy peaceably what is their own, and to do justice to others.
The Republic.
It is an artificial person. It has its affairs and its interests. It has its rules, it has its rights, and it has its obligations. It may acquire property distinct from that of its members. Public stock. It may be bound by contracts and for damages arising from the breach of those contracts. In all our contemplations concerning this artificial person, we should never forget that, in truth and nature, those who think and speak and act are men.
Sorry about the voice change. Apparently, there's a limit on how much free suave voice you can use. So bear with me as we listen to the
state independence, state sovereignty, and state supremacy. In despotic governments, the government has usurped, in a similar manner, upon the state and the people. Hence, all arbitrary doctrines and pretensions concerning the supreme, absolute, incontrollable government. Each is degraded from the prime rank which he ought to hold in human affairs. As noted, following this ruling, those corrupt government legislators passed the 11th Amendment in record time, as to affirm that they could not be sued for their criminal acts against the people, in that of violating their rights. One takes note that the 11th Amendment did not bestow sovereignty upon the states, nor did it strip the power of sovereignty from that of the people.
Told you.
It merely did what it says in keeping the states from being sued. Likewise, one takes notice that even James K. Polk, in 1949, when asked about his presidential term coming to an end, replied they have been 4 years of incessant labor and anxiety and of great responsibility. I am heartily rejoiced that my term is so near its close. Not as a private citizen, I will have no one but myself.
As a private citizen, James Polk, as the president, said that.
Petition that in the exalted station I now hold. Take note that the American people have been dumbed down into believing that being a sovereign is equated to being a domestic interest, and that no such sovereignty has been bestowed upon them, despite that being the very essence from which the Declaration of Independence was derived.
So don't let them fool you. They want to try to dirty up the name sovereign. It's not dirty. That's the power of the devil. Take which is light and turn it upside down.
Stipulated within Article I, Section 8 of the United States Constitution. So, as even the first-year law student can see, in order to be brought before a court must first have jurisdiction over that of the individual head. So,
and the subject matter. Two things: personal or persona jurisdiction and subject matter. They have to have both over you in order to make things go forward. That's why you can challenge either of them. We the people, not everyone, not the government, are in fact the sovereigns. There it is. So now you guys understand a little bit more. It is a smear campaign put on by devils and demons that they want to try to dirty up the word. I don't like to use the word because I want to use their words, because I want to see them do something that they can't and won't do, which is dirty their words that they call us, which are private citizens. Dirty that one up. Go ahead. Tastes good. So yeah, they refer to us as foreign nationals and private citizens for the private sector. Go ahead, try to dirty that one up. No? Cheap. All right, guys, that is it. Enjoy your holiday season. Just want to give you guys a little more information on what it means to be sovereign. It in a nutshell means as long as you're not committing a crime, doing damage to property, you basically do almost whatever you want. As long as you have permission from the other person and they're above age, have fun. Create your micronations, your own IDs, these and that. But remember, when utilizing a service in the public, you have to then go back to being that public person. You want to get in the water, you got to get wet. That's what it is. Other than that, all of your stuff should be in private things like a trust or a private nation or whatever else you want to create. Private church, faith-based organization. You don't have to get an EIN unless you want that or another entity. You can have one entity control another entity. Do whatever you want to do. Just don't deny anybody of their rights and sovereignty.